We are back with more from Nexus IT. We're going to be checking in with Earl once again and also Travis Gunn to give us some tech tips. We're going to talk about how to make sure you have top security while working at home. Travis and Earl, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So many
Hey,
people are working from home. It's becoming a bit of a new normal. What can we do, though, to make sure security is a top priority as we do participate in meetings and work activities from our home?
very good question. I think one of the things that we're seeing that are happening with businesses over these last 6 weeks, as everybody has been sent home and is trying to figure out how to continue to work day to day. Most businesses, weren't really prepared for the scenario, and the approach has been somewhat haphazard. And so they've been employees and team members have been sent home and are being given or using their own personal devices to start to connect to their corporate infrastructure and access data and do their day-to-day work. Um, Oftentimes, this poses a significant security risk and threat to the organization because they're working on a device that is not necessarily controlled by the corporation and is not has not implemented the proper security measures or best practices to keep that device and the data that's transmitting and transacting safe. Um, Certainly, we're seeing that a lot of organizations are those devices, the personal laptops and tablets or smartphones, they're not protected with an antivirus, anti-malware, anti-ransomware, or anything like that. And so the organizations right now are bumping up against a lot of new risks and potential vectors of attacks from hackers. Um, and I think
And Earl, thanks so much. We are actually having a little bit of an audio problem on our live program today, so we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Earl and Travis right after this. Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Nexus IT. Earl Foote and Travis Gunn are here. It's good to talk with them. Travis, thanks for connecting with us today, as well as Earl. I'm curious about, especially with you, Travis, are you working from home, and what kind of security items do you suggest when you are participating in all the work meetings and emails from home?
Yep, I'm working from home, which is something that I've actually done for the last near 10 years of my life. The thing that's different is now I've got 4 kids at home with me every day, right? And one of the things that I really think is the best practice is let your work computer or the computer that you're using for work be your work computer, and let the devices that they're using for school be their school devices. I think that as long as we can keep those things separated, we don't know what kids are doing for the most part, right? We don't know if their schools are requiring them to go to sites that could have vulnerabilities. I don't know, right? But really, I think as long as you're keeping work and school separate, I think that that's the first step and the easiest step that you can make. If you can't do that, obviously, let's just monitor things. We always recommend whether it's a home computer, whether it be a work computer, that you've got a good business grade antivirus type solution on your workstation. And really, at the end of the day, what that's going to do is just provide you the ability to stay ahead of, at least be proactive with any risks out there.
And Earl, as a business leader, I'm curious, how are you helping your employees stay secure at home?
Yeah, very good question. So I think from taking this an approach, talking about physical safety or medical safety, we as an organization early in March physically distanced, sent everybody to their houses to work from home. Fortunately, we were very well prepared and geared for that sort of scenario. It was already part of our culture to allow telecommuting. and we'd already implemented all the proper technical measures for safety, such as VPNs and cloud desktops and antivirus and anti-malware, and we can get into more of those types of details later. But I think more than anything, what we've been doing is allowing our team to work from home, to quarantine, to physically distance, and we've been very judicious about only doing on-site service when there's an emergency for essential businesses. We've also been we've been very mindful about who goes on site and how they do that. And so we ask clients to physically distance. We ask for spaces to be disinfected. We wear masks and gloves. We disinfect the space when we're done. And we've not made any team members go and do on-site service unless they are comfortable with it. Many of our team members actually have significant others or spouses who work in the medical industry, and they obviously need to be very careful about physically distancing from others right now. And so if our team members aren't comfortable with going on site, then we're not making them go on site. And again, we're doing our best to do all of our work via remote and from home at the moment. And honestly, even though we're going to get back to some semblance of economic reboot here and businesses are going to begin to reopen, we're going to continue that model for several weeks to come until we see what the numbers are going to do and what's going to happen. Fortunately, we do have the luxury, not all businesses do, but we do have the luxury of being able to perform 95, 98% of what we do via remote, and we don't have to go on site. So we've been very fortunate in that, right?
And Travis, you mentioned that you are working at home with your kids who are also doing school at home online. Any quick suggestions for us when you navigate Zoom or other opportunities online as far as keeping secure and safe?
Yep, that's a great question, and all of my kids are teenagers, right? And so it's a lot of time it's been, hey, here's your Chromebook, go to work, right? But I spent a little bit of time with one of our engineers and making sure that our Zoom accounts are set up and working the way they should from a secure standpoint, that they only have access to the things that they need to, and that Zoom is something that they're using only on an as-need basis. We do family Zoom calls, we do obviously their school calls, and we're using it securely as opposed to opening up. There's lots of, and I'd encourage you to actually reach out to Nexus. There are lots of settings within there that we can establish that allow you to be working within a secure connection.
Well, thank you so much, Travis and Earl, for joining us today. If you want more ideas on how to stay secure at home online, also any from tech tips to security to business issues with anything online, make sure you head to Nexus IT, find out more, and ask them for their suggestions. We've got more right after this. We'll be right back.